Hello, and welcome to another episode of Manifesting with Feng Shui. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host, Kristina Hollinger. And for those of you who keep coming back every week, I love spending this time with you. We are a little bit halfway through season 6, and it's just been such an incredible season. I just really enjoy being here with you because I flew all the way to Austin, Texas to batch record this. And it's just been really, really fun to see how each episode we keep getting deeper and deeper into this practice. And I just love being here with you. So thank you again. And if you're new here, don't worry. We've got someone else who's new in the room, kind of ish. Logan, you want to say hi?
I mean, I'm not that new.
I know. Well, you've been here with me for a few episodes.
Well,
so.
Yeah. What is this now? Episode 6 of 6, right? You said episode 6 of season 6, and then I did all season 5. So we're like 15 episodes in together, 14 episodes in together.
Yeah. So you probably know a lot more feng shui than just the average,
I
person.
do feel very well versed in it right now. A lot of stuff I'm going to apply at home and get going on. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. In between takes, he's been asking some really good questions. But truthfully, what's so nice about having producer Logan on the mic here at Authentic Exposure is just that, you ask really good questions. And I think it's important that I can slow down and answer some of your questions because I know listeners are probably wondering the same thing. So I say this every week, but please feel free to chime in if anything comes up, if you have any questions at all.
I will always have questions, I feel like.
Okay. Well, keep them coming. So today I'm really, really excited about today's episode. It's called How to Manifest with Your Angels and Guides Using the 5 Elements. How to manifest with your angels and guides using the 5 elements. Now, I'm certainly not here to push anything on you, but if this resonates with you, if you feel like you have a connection with your angels or spirit guides, or even just God, the universe, whatever it is that you call that power that's far greater than you, of the highest truth and compassion, whatever resonates with you today, just want to really ground today's episode in the fact that when you are applying the 5 elements of feng shui to design the life you deserve, to call in the career opportunities that you desire, to call in the money you desire, to call in the relationships, the friendships, whatever it is you're calling in, you are co-creating with the universe. That's why I actually changed the name of the podcast. Fun fact, if you're new here, this podcast used to be called Modern Feng Shui. And last season, season 5, when I started coming here to Austin to record, I shifted the name to Manifesting with Feng Shui because ultimately that's what Feng Shui is. It is a manifesting practice where you get to reimagine your life and you get to create something new for yourself, new experiences, and you get to step into the fullness of who you came here to be in this lifetime. And that's truly why I love feng shui so much. That's why I teach it, and that's why I'm here. Now, today's episode, How to Manifest with Your Angels and Guides Using the 5 Elements, I would really like to just kind of pause right here and just, Logan, I would love to ask you when it comes to, I don't even know if I asked you this before. I know we talked about angel numbers and signs and things like that, but when it comes to your connection with source, spirit, what resonates with you? Do you communicate with any of your angels, guides? What's your connection?
All of them actually. And truthfully, more recently, I've just in this expansion I've had kind of in these last couple weeks and couple months, I have called in more help than probably I ever have in the past and more guidance and sort of this surrender, this actual real energetic surrender to other beings that can help me and guide me.
You said something last season that's really stuck out to me. And I don't even know if you remember saying this, but you said something around, you were talking about surrender and you were just the more I realized I don't even have control. Like you can't really control as much as you think. So you just might as well surrender. And I think that's really, as much as I teach how to manifest with feng shui and give it up to the universe, give it up to a higher power, I think that's probably one of the most challenging practices, at least for me. It's because I like want to control everything. And that's also what I help teach people. Like you teach what you need to learn type of thing. So I feel like I really, part of like my work is not just teaching you how to do the feng shui adjustment, but then it's like, then what do you do after that? And it's like, how do you surrender and trust that what's of the highest good's on its way? So when you say like you turned it over to a higher power, like, do you like know the archangels? Is that who you can like?
Yeah, I'll call on, Michael,
Which
Gabriel,
ones?
Raphael,
Okay.
Haniel, all
of them.
a few of them. Yeah. Especially as of late because of just all of the, I don't know, just the emotional stuff I've been going through more recently that I've just realized I can't get through it on my own.
So Hani, like it's interesting because I also work with angel cards. I've had Radley Valentine on the show. He's, published a lot of card decks. He's like one of my favorites. But, I tend to call on Archangel Michael quite a bit because he can like clear energy. Actually, Radley told me that Jophiel is really great. Like she's the queen of feng shui, I guess, when it comes to angels. And I don't call on her a ton, but she helps you to see the beauty in the moment. And then Gabriel helps you with communication and creativity and giving birth to new ideas. But you had mentioned like the ones that you mentioned aren't necessarily the ones that I would typically call on. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So why Haniel, Raphael?
Honestly, a lot of mine is for, I've lately more so been asking for clarity and not so much in like specific area. I mean, some specific areas, but however that clarity has to come through, whether it's through like a cleansing of me or seeing the beauty in something or feeling like I need, the sharp sword of Michael or something to really like battle for me. Like truthfully, when I call on them, I'm not really specifically asking for much because my thing is like, I know there's clarity that I need and it's my mind that's really getting in the way of that. So all I'm asking is for them to do what they're best at and clear that out for me. And so the clarity that I need can then drop in basically.
I love that. That is so, it's so profound because like we really can't do it all alone. We weren't designed to do it all alone. And I truly believe that even with manifesting with feng shui, like when you said clarity, I'm like wisdom and knowledge, you can activate that space. But so many times what I think happens is through feng shui is like, you can get that connection with your angels, your guides, and work with the universe. And what they'll do sometimes, many times, is actually send you real life helpful people that can help guide you through that. And that's, I think, part of the miracle. I think that feng shui has really helped me in that way because like, it kind of like helps me to know like, we're not designed to do this alone, So I absolutely love that. Okay. So do you also believe that you have a guardian angel?
Oh, 100%. I think we have lots of guardian angels.
Okay. That's interesting. So like I said, I had Radley Valentine on the show. He did an angel reading for 2025. So you all can go back and listen to it if you haven't caught it yet. And he talked about how like everyone has a guardian angel. And then he described it really well. And he just said that like, there's different schools of thought that like we have like different angels that come in and help us during different seasons of our life and things. So really interesting, but thank you for sharing what it is that you believe in. I think that that's really awesome. I'm kind of like, I grew up in the Catholic Church and all of that, but like, since then I'm just like pretty non-denominational. And P.S. Feng Shui is not a religion, by the way, at all. But I do think Feng Shui is like when you align your energy, you really are turning it over to this invisible force. I mean, Feng Shui means wind and water. It means the wind is that piece, that part of life that you just cannot see. And so the water is what we can see. It's what we can control with our visible eye, but the wind is what we can't see. And so whether that's the universe, God, angels, guardian angels coming in to help support you, that really is why Feng Shui is just such a magical practice. And if you believe in Buddha or whatever it is, like you can call in whatever resonates with you. So for me, like, I don't know if I've told you all this yet, but I know that like Dr. Wayne Dyer is one of my guides. I never had the chance to meet him when he was on this planet, but like his aura was so powerful right before he passed away. I think it was like August 2016 or something like that. Please don't quote me on that. But I remember I just like started following Dr. Wayne Dyer's Facebook page for some reason, and it pointed me in the direction of Hay House Radio. I didn't even know what Hay House was until Dr. Wayne Dyer. And that was profound for me. And like just a couple weeks after I really discovered that page, he had passed away. And years later, I was reading Gabby Bernstein's book, Super Attractor, which, side note, that book literally changed my life. Like within a week of reading the book, Super Attractor, I was handing Allison Victoria of HGTV my business card. Like it worked really well. But in Gabby Bernstein's book, Super Attractor, she talks about Dr. Wayne Dyer, who she actually was really good friends with. And she has gotten messages from him that like he is such a bright light and that he would be happy to be anybody's guide here on this earth planet if they would like to work with him. And that was just like the confirmation I needed that like, yeah, I do feel like for so many reasons, Dr. Wayne Dyer's work, he was like the first spiritual teacher I ever had. I listened to his book, The Power of Intention, when it was like CDs. I had like CDs in my car listening to it. Before I even discovered Feng Shui, Dr. Wayne Dyer was 100% my first spiritual teacher. And I even got to have his daughters, Sage and Serena Dyer, on my podcast. And I just feel like this connection to him that I have is really profound and definitely like one of those guides that I call in. Louise Hay, who founded Hay House, the publishing company, her and I happen to have the same birthday. She's since deceased, but I just feel very connected to her. She was also one of my first spiritual teachers when I listened to the first book I ever got from her was You Can Heal Your Life. And it's all these different affirmations that she believed. And there was actually science to prove that when you would say different affirmations, it would heal different ailments in your body. And because sometimes the things that we hold emotionally show up and manifest in physical form. So Louise Hay, she was just such a beautiful teacher, and I feel so deeply connected to her, and I absolutely have called her in. And then kind of similar to like what Logan was sharing, like I do work with angels. I work with Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Ariel, Jophiel, and I also just believe in God and Jesus. So all the things, and whatever it is that resonates with you today, I just want to remind you that like, you can pull this in to your manifesting with Feng Shui practice. And I think Logan said it so beautifully when he was sharing his experience. It's like turning it over and just saying like, okay, sure, I'm going to put a money tree in my wealth corner with the hopes that the money comes. And then like turn it over to a higher power. And you can personify that however you want, visualize that however you want. And that's what's going to make your Feng Shui practice so much more successful, so much more powerful. 3:33 on the clock as I say that, which is definitely an angel number, a number showing that your angels and guides are with you. So let's get into really the teaching part of this, which is how are we even using the 5 elements when we're manifesting with Feng Shui? So kind of a quick crash course. First of all, there are 5 elements in Feng Shui that you can use to activate 9 areas of your life. So if you don't already have the free mini course, 100% get the free mini course right now. There's a PDF. You can go. It's actually really helpful. Basically what I did is I wrote out all 9 areas of life and then shared with you which element is going to help to amplify that area. And then I explained to you how each element is represented. So this is a really great tool. So if you don't have the free mini course, get it. It's got that PDF, videos to help you understand it. But let's kind of do a quick overview of the 5 elements and then how we can use the 5 elements to manifest what it is we desire and co-create with a higher power, our angels, guides, spirit. So the 5 elements are fire, earth, water, wood, and metal. And each of these elements are going to activate different areas of your home or of your life, essentially. And there's 3 ways to represent the elements, right? So you can represent the element by the shape of the element. And this is really key. And the interior designers that I work with love this. The shape is the most profound way to activate an element. So for example, the fire energy is activated by the shape of a triangle. So even if you don't use the color red, which is the fire color, you can activate the fire energy through the shape of a triangle or like any type of like pattern with triangles or diamonds, things like that. And then of course you can activate the elements through color and then the actual element itself. So going with fire as an example again, colors of red and fuchsia, yellow, bright orange, all of that is going to help activate fire. But then of course, a fireplace or candles. Other things that activate fire, it's like animal prints or even faux leather, feathers. All of those pieces could actually represent the fire energy. And when you place this element in the correlating gua or area of life, what you're doing is you are activating the frequency. And so, this is so powerful to manifest with the 5 elements. It's really quite simple. You identify which area of life you're struggling with the most in the moment. You go to that space and then you shift your environment. You add something, take something away, but you shift your environment by applying the element that is going to really activate that space. You ask your angels, your guides, the spirit of the highest truth and compassion to hear what it is that you are calling in, right? And that's why Feng Shui really is like a spiritual practice, because it's not just the crystal that's going to change your life. And it's not just the painting that you hang up that's going to change your life or the candle that you're lighting. It's your intention behind it that is really going to make such a difference. And every time you see that painting or that candle, subconsciously, it does something to you. It gives you the reassurance that what you've called in is on its way. There's quantum physics aspect to it where like you're matching the frequency of that gua and it's going to help you to amplify and call in what it is that you want. And then if we really want to get granular, like if you're calling in help from a higher source, your angels, your guides, which you can do when you're manifesting with Feng Shui, like that's where the surrender comes in. And again, that's what I think most of my clients struggle with the most. And that's why I offer programs like the 12-month manifesting journey, where we meet every single month and I can help guide you through that. Because it's very common where someone will say like, okay, I set my intention, I did the Feng Shui adjustment. Now what? Feng Shui is not a vending machine. So it might not come, your manifestation might not come in a week, or sometimes it does, which is always fun. And you hear me share about those kinds of stories all the time. But that's why, co-creating with a higher power, your angels, guides, universe, God, source, can really amplify your results. So, I love to give you something practical, something tangible that you can do after you press play in every single episode. That's always my intention. So let's use an example. I want to give you an example that I shared with Lois. Lois was in the 12-month manifesting journey for 2 years in a row. She had such success with it the first year that she really wanted the guidance in the year of the rabbit, 2023, and then also in the year of the dragon, 2024. And so one of the suggestions, her and her husband were renovating their home, and she noticed that her and her husband were bickering like all the time. And it was like driving her nuts. And she's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because like what we're doing to the house. But she was like really struggling with it. And it sounds so simple, but I gave her some suggestions on how to, rekindle the flame between her and her husband, and also like help them to see eye to eye and to hopefully like ease the tension between their relationship. So a couple of things she did, and you can try this too, of course, is Lois, like in her relationship area. Now, to be frank, I actually don't remember. I'm like, I think when you go into your bedroom, the far back right area of your bedroom is the relationship area. So I think she placed 2 candles there of similar size, and she would like light them every night with her intention of seeing eye to eye with her partner. And just like rekindling the flame, rekindling the connection, the passion, whatever. And I also want to say though, I think she also potentially could have done this in the actual relationship area of her home. So like, you know, the Bagua map, it could be laid on your entire floor plan, and then it could also be laid on just a room. So that's why I say it kind of like skips my memory. I'm like, did she do it just in her bedroom, or did she also do it in her relationship area? But either way, either one will work for you. So 2 candles, similar size. And then when you light them with intention each night, it really just, again, you're co-creating with the universe, your angels and your guides. And you're saying, look, using Lois's example, this bickering is getting out of hand and I don't know what to do because it's really wearing on me. I'm setting my intention now as I light these 2 candles for, you know, us to see eye to eye, and for a higher power to like help us to heal this relationship. And those of you who are listening, who are single, who are like looking to call in a partner, like you can still do this, and like with your intention of like calling in somebody who's going to not only like help you to like, you don't just want to call in like a warm body, right? Like you want to call in someone who's going to amplify your life and like make it better, right? So set your intention for what it is you're calling in. So she did that. She also added 2 rose quartz crystals to the relationship corner of her bedroom. Again, it could have been her bedroom or her relationship area. I don't remember the details. But here's truly what happened. She messaged me, like I said, she was in the 12-month manifesting journey for 2 years. And after the 2nd year of the 12-month manifesting journey, she sent me a message and she was like, Kristina, like literally the relationship adjustments that you had recommended, it's still working. Even my husband has noticed that we've been like less on each other's backs about things, less bickering, and just truly living in harmony and enjoying each other's company so much more. So yes, I love to talk about manifesting money with feng shui, but like at the end of the day, we can be millionaires, billionaires, but if we don't have that inner peace, harmony within ourselves, within our relationships, within our homes, it's not going to feel as good, right? So I feel like this was a huge celebration for Lois, and I know it could be a huge celebration for you too. And this is truly what I mean by how you can manifest with your angels and guides using the 5 elements. So today we just talked about one example of how you can amplify the relationship area. A little bit of, just so you know, inside the Feng Shui Essentials Experience course, which I only am offering once this year, we go into not just like the element that's going to amplify. Let's talk about Lois and the relationships. The earth element is going to amplify relationships. So we, of course, talk about how you can amplify your relationships using the earth element. But then there's also a secondary element that supports earth. And in this case, it's fire. Fire creates ash, creates earth. It also is great for the relationship because it's going to add passion, right? So in this example, like this is the reason why I created the Feng Shui Essentials Experience, because even though we go through the most important areas to Feng Shui, your front door, your bedroom, your kitchen, your bathroom. And then there's a 5th module where we go all into the 5 elements and how to manifest with the 5 elements and how you can activate all 9 areas of life using the 5 elements. And so, like I said, we just kind of had like a little taster of like, how do you use the earth element to activate your relationships, right? But then also that secondary element with fire. And so like there's 9 areas of life. And so there's 9 areas to activate with the elements. So as you know, there's so much more I could say, but you know, I can't stay too late. I'm at Authentic Exposure Studio in Austin, Texas. And so you got to join me for the Feng Shui Essentials Experience if you want to go deeper into how to really co-create the life you desire with your angels, your guides, using the 5 elements and manifesting with Feng Shui. I hope to see you inside the Feng Shui Essentials experience. Thank you so much for being here today. Hey, Logan, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing a little bit about your journey and like how you have worked with your angels and guides.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And everyone, I will see you next week where I will help you design the life you deserve. See you soon.